happened at halftime that, the second half was such a different looking team than the first?
Executed well.
What did you say to them at halftime?
Not a bunch, a little bit, but keep that in-house. That's certainly not the reason. I mean, execution plays a big part of football, and I thought they executed well.
You've seen Daniel do some good things last season. What you see today, is that just another sign of him continuing to progress and what he can do?
Yeah, I thought he finished strong, played a really good second half. We had a couple things could have improved on in the first half, talked about those. But he's a resilient young man. I went out there and played well, along with, I'd say, a number of people.
Saquon got carted off, like for X-rays here.
Yeah, I don't know yet, guys. I don't know anything with injuries. Bredesen, I don't know. I think it was his head, but I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Ronnie or any of the medical staff yet.
Did you call plays in the second half?
Nope.
You didn't?
Nope.
Did you change anything about that process offensively, like how you and Mike were?
No, we always communicate like that. Yeah. So I always have a sheet with me. But Mike did a fantastic job. I communicate with Mike. I communicate with T-Mac. I communicate with Wink. So offensive staff did a good job. Moved the ball, scored points, did their job.
Given everything that you had to deal with, Andrew, and stuff during the game, penalties, this is satisfying a win as you've had since you've been here?
I don't know. They're all satisfying. Every game is different. Every game you fight through some adversity. Tonight was, a good example of being resilient and playing the next play and focusing on the next series. And, they did their job in the second half. Thought we did a good job on third down. Hit some explosive or chunk plays. Made some timely stops at the end of the game. Made a game-winning field goal. Played much better, coached much better in the second half. And, you hope they don't, all start out 20-0. It was, we didn't do not a good enough job in the first half, but fortunately, came out, executed well situationally. I think 4 of 4 in the red zone. Offensively, almost, 65% on third down. That usually gets you some points and made some big plays.
How much of a spark was that deep ball to Hine? Was that a play specifically drew up to give you a spark?
Yeah, no, it's something we talked about coming out. We were, I'd say we were possessing. We were throwing some timely possessive passes, try to get the ball out, get in the balls or the hands of the playmakers, and then we just didn't convert enough third downs, and then we had one earlier. We had a chance at one earlier, just didn't go to it. So, it was a good second half.
How much could you feel, I think your term last week was slippery slope. Could you feel that you created a slippery slope in the second half? Like, whatever momentum?
For the other team? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm proud of how resilient the guys were, and, they didn't focus on the scoreboard, and that's a hard thing to do. We're in a production business, and to focus on just doing your job. And, I thought Hyde stepped up as a young rookie and made a couple nice plays for us. Slay, Waller, and then obviously Daniel. I thought the line for the young players, they did a heck of a job, those young guys on the offensive line. And, when you look at it, you got, Ozudu, who didn't play much last year, really like a rookie, and McKeithen, and Evan Neal had some, and then you got John Michael. And then the young corners, you got 2 rookie corners. So, those young players help contribute in a positive way, and we're going to need to, really all of us, keep getting better. It's good to get a win, make no mistake about it, but a lot to clean up and, in a short amount of time.
Brian, this is tied for the largest comeback in franchise history. You were staring 0-2 in the face. How much can a win like this mean for a team going forward?
I don't know. I've been involved in a lot of comebacks, some in the end of the year games where it's a lot to a little. I don't know. I really, Jordan. I really think that playing well and preparing. I mean, I know it's a broken record, but that's the truth in the National Football League. You can't take one week to the next. You can't take
something those teams have built on, the ones that you've been on that have had those kind of wins, and then it kind of propels you.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, we're in the second week of the season. The guys fought their way back. We got plenty to work on. I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of our coaches, but certainly a long way to go. But definitely good to get a win.
Dave, you said, the idea that, comebacks happen in this league, but to come back from 21 points, I would imagine at some point you start feeling, this isn't just a Hail Mary, that this is a possibility. Was there a moment for you in the second half that you felt the tide turning in your favor?
No, I just, again, you get into a rhythm a little bit, and that play helped, obviously, to Jalen. And then they went down and scored. But, I think just creating positive plays and execution and then finishing in the end zone for a team, it uplifts probably the entire team. But not one thing in specific, Art. Again, I thought that team played their tails off. Gritty group. And that runner he's a tough son of a gun. So, again, and then you get the interception off of Saquon's hand. They get going. To be able to just keep competing, that's not always the easiest thing to do. But, we talked a little bit about it at halftime, made my point, and ultimately it's the players that go out there and have to execute.
How close is Andrew to playing, and then can you just
Andrew?
explain just the O-line combination? Like, Zudu didn't get a lot of snaps to left tackle.
Yeah.
McKeithen has not played really. So
Yeah,
just
well, they've practiced the last few weeks, and that's what we see, Dan. I know you don't see it, but McKeithen did a good job all week. Zudu's been doing a good job at tackle. He's got quick feet. A lot to learn. I'm sure I can't give you an evaluation of them. I'm proud of the way they competed for 60 minutes all the way to the end. So we'll see. And Andrew, we'll see. He was, I'm not going to give a percentage of how close. He was better than he was. We just thought it was the right thing to do. Knowing that we play a game on Thursday, he practiced more than he did on Thursday. He practiced on Friday, got some team reps, did some things like that. So it's a quick turnaround. We'll see where we're at. I'd say the same thing with Wandell. I know we'll talk a short amount of time here, but we'll see where we're at.
Dave, why were the first and second halves so starkly different?
Made some plays. I thought we pressed the ball a little bit down the field, which Danny did a great job, and the line did a great job of protecting. And, those players, whether it was Waller, Slayton, Hyatt, made some plays down the field, good reads. And we just stayed ahead of the chains, So anytime you can do that, that helps an offense. We had too many penalties, rough start of the game. Plenty of stuff to work on, but the finish that these guys had, it's good to get a win.
Two more. You said you made your point at half. Like what point?
Yeah, I'd just say it's, I don't know if necessarily was a point. I just said what I had to say, but it's really not. It's not about a halftime speech or a halftime adjustment. You do those things all the time. I think it's about, the will of the player. And, when you haven't scored a point in a game and a half and you come in at halftime, I'd say as a leader, there's a delicate balance between, focus on the next play and maybe a little extra. So, but again, all the credits goes to the players. I'd say to the play callers, the assistant coaches. It's good to get this win. We made it hard. I'll tell you that. We made it hard.
One more. You say, and maybe a little extra. You mean focusing on your confidence that they're going to come all the way back and win the game?
Yeah, just belief. But you can talk about it till you're blue in the face, Pat. Belief. It's got to happen. You have to see tangible results too. So. I think we have some mentally tough players on our team and coaches. It's not always easy to be mentally tough when you're, whatever it is, 60-0 after a game and a half. So there's encouragement. There is detail in what needs to get done. And, there's, I wouldn't say you scream and yell. I don't think that's the answer, but you definitely place an emphasis on what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. With confidence and sternness.